The message is the importance of internships and connecting businesses and students prior to graduation.
Tell us your experience with gaining internships for your students and how that has benefited the students.
We've seen an explosion in the number of internship opportunities for all majors at the University of Southern Mississippi. And the benefits, of course, is that students get some good practical experience, they get some soft skills development, decision making, analytical problem solving, and we find that the conversion rate of internship to full-time hire is about 59%.
What areas of the business community would you like to see an increase in internships?
Well, I think some of the liberal arts areas needs a little bit of the increase, some of the museums and some of the parks and recreations. That's an area where we're trying to develop.
The message here today is that we are responding to what employers have said they need. Business and industry said we need folks with employability skills, they need the soft skills to be successful in the workplace. So we've responded with that with a course of training for all students who come through our program, as well as students that are already employed at business and industry. We have skills training for those employees, our clients, and we want to help improve the workforce of our state.
Student internships in Mississippi should really be viewed as a part of the workforce development initiative in our state. You know, many of these students upon graduation wind up working with employers that they actually student interned with. So I think it's important that we look at this as a piece of the overall workforce development initiative in Mississippi. Student internships provide a great opportunity for students to test drive companies and companies to test drive students and to really get to know each other, so there might be that connection for a student upon graduation.
We have had an internship program now for going on 10 years, and we've been able to capitalize on that by hiring at least 12 students. We hire about one a year out of our internship program, and it's been very beneficial to us.
What do the students learn in the internship program?
Well, we have some students who are very specialized. They might be a programmer or an actuary intern, and then we have another opportunity for more like business students, and they actually rotate to several different areas in our company, so they get to kind of see a bunch of different departments and then hopefully maybe come back to us one day in one of those areas.
What's your recommendation to other businesses in Louisiana and to Mississippi?
I think the internship program is just very valuable. Ever since we've been doing this, we've had a return, had students come back and want to work for us, and it's just a great way for the student to see what you do and then for you to kind of try out the student, and that way hopefully you can make good matches when they get ready.
This is our first year to introduce an apprenticeship program. We are actually the first credit union in the state of Mississippi to have an apprenticeship program. It is currently open to our we're starting it with our current employees, and it is a 2-year program where it's a combination of on-the-job learning, so our employees continue to work full-time, keep their earnings, and advance their career as well.
What kind of results have you seen from this?
We are seeing really positive results. We have already had, in just the short period of time we've promoted 3 individuals within the program.
We have developed a Center for Pathway Experiences on our campus. It's part of our 10-year initiative with a quality enhancement plan where we have a person designated to work with employers, to do outreach, to connect students with opportunities and internships. And we're seeing over the, I think, 4 to 5 years, an increased need for internships in the areas of logistics and transportation, supply chain management, accountants. They've been doing this a long time. They saw years and years ago, hey, let's recruit them as juniors to seniors and keep them after they graduate. And other people are beginning to follow those majors. We have distribution facilities like CED and Walmart Distribution that's now actively seeking internships. Sanderson Farms, I love the title of their internship program. It's called the Super Chicken Roadshow. If you ever go to that, you get this really cool t-shirt with this funny looking chicken on the back, but they take 29 to 30 internships every summer, and they pay the students well, and they give them an idea about what a processing company, one of the largest in the country, is all about, and the different management careers there. And it helps our students think differently about organizations when they get to experience it. and also helps them think about, where their path needs to go. So we're always looking for additional internships, but we see an increase in those logistics and transportation. We've seen a little bit more federal government hiring of internships, where at one time they were major employers of co-op students, and that went away in the 80s for those that can remember that far back. And we see a lot of the tourism seeking our internships, much like the apprenticeship program, because there's a need in those industries to hire a lot of talent. And a lot of companies, from what I'm hearing now, one of the reasons they're trying to develop internship program is that they're looking at their leadership, and they're seeing their leadership is getting more and more seasoned. That's a nice term to use, isn't it? And they don't have a succession plan in place, and they're trying to bring in people as interns and apprentice to say, hey, let's grow our folks from within. Let's go ahead and start identifying the talent we want. Let's give them the training that we need them to have, not only in the academy, but also in our business. And hopefully that will retain people for a longer period of time and give students a lot of ability to move up.
Thanks, Rusty. So we've talked to Rusty. Rusty, let's move down here to Paul and tell us about the role that IHL is playing to help universities kind of fill that gap and coordinate internship programs and, and partnering with the business community.
Thanks, Kathy. Good morning. Before I do that, I think I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that while IHL certainly feels that we have a role to play in expanding and growing student internship opportunities in Mississippi, you heard Rusty talk about there are currently many success stories that he shared on the University of Southern Mississippi campus, and across all 8 campuses in our system, there are other similar success stories to be told. So there is currently really good work being done in the area of student internships within our 4-year public universities. The primary ways that IHL sees that we can help grow this opportunity is really to help connect and partner Mississippi companies with our universities, specifically our career services centers. That's a role that we can play representing the entire system to help grow and expand. The second thing, to help grow and expand in that if a company, you may be sitting out there thinking, I don't have a student internship program, I would love to know more about starting one. Well, IHL wants to serve as a resource to help you do that. We have information at our disposal that we can share with you to help you learn about starting a new program, or maybe you have a program and you want to grow it or expand it, maybe to tweak a few things within the program. So that's the second thing that we see ourselves being able to offer you as business owners and managers. And the third is something that we've been talking with MEC leadership about for a while now, and that is really helping to just promote the concept of student internships with Mississippi companies, to help provide some education about the value of student internships. You've heard a lot of that this morning from some of the experts on the panel. So those are our 3 primary areas that we think in which IHL can help, is to really help connect and partner Mississippi companies to our career services centers, and to help grow and expand programs that you may want to start or haven't yet or have started and need to be tweaked. And the other is just to help educate and really promote the concept with Mississippi companies to help grow the initiative.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Paul. Sandy, we're talking about the Community College Board and what they're doing with the Smart Start pathway model. And they're teaching soft skills, and they're helping students have that toolbox when they're ready to go into this job with soft skills. Can you tell us about that? Can you tell us about this Smart Start pathway?
I can tell you about Smart Start. I'm glad to be here to share this. The Smart Start program was implemented as a part of the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, and Mississippi State's our plan for the state includes research from you. What did you need from employers to be successful in your business and industry? So we took that information and we designed a course, and the course is being offered to all of our students in adult education across the state, that at every community college through the Department of Corrections. But what this course is designed to do is to make our students employable. we know that in order for you to be successful, you need an educated workforce, but you also need employees with work ethic. So we have taken a course and designed, it's a 45-hour course, and it's a behavioral type course, so it takes a while to practice these skills. You have to show up every day for class. You must stay the entire day for class. We're trained, does that sound familiar a little bit? So we're training our students to be successful employees. The Smart Start course includes multiple certifications and credentials. One of those is the ACT, National Career Readiness Certificate. The National Career Readiness Certificate will let you know as a company that your employee or potential employee, this applicant is work ready. We also have the Smart Start credential, which we created as a part of our state plan. And where we need assistance and help from you is to recognize that when these folks are applying to your company that, oh, I know what this is. This ACT National Career Readiness Certificate means something. This Smart Start credential means something. The students are putting a lot of time and effort in the program. And so we focus on the basic skills, the reading and the language, and the math, but we're also focused on, like I said, the soft skills, communication skills. We provide very explicit instruction, and I think that's crucial for the students that we serve, to the point of the things of what is my role as an employee. What is my role and what is the role of my supervisor? And how do I communicate and connect in a workplace that makes me successful and continues to keep me employed? We focus on conflict resolution. We also have financial literacy pieces in our curriculum because that is a very important part of our employees' success. They need to know how to handle their money. They need to know how to open a bank account. What are interest rates? Why do I not need to get that title loan? How can I be? Basically, we're looking at a holistic approach to serving our students. But the goal is to make them employable. Again, we are very excited about this class. It has expanded tremendously since we started. We offer this now for business and industry, the necessary skills section of our course, the communication skills, the employability skills, but we also go further with our students in defining what employees are looking for as far as what jobs are out there. We're across the state, so we focus on training in those specific sectors of our state. So our students on the Gulf Coast we have a lot of students in the welding program because they're going right into working with Ingalls. The goal of our program, adult education, is to take them from where they are, where they're basic skills deficient now, put them on a pathway of success that includes at the end employability. Because at the end of the day, it is about a family sustaining wage and being able to support your family in the economic development of our state. So I think there are a lot of opportunities out there for you to find good employees, and that's how we want to help you to partner to do that.
Thank you. So, Paul, we're going to close, but I want Paul to talk about, for these businesses out there, what do they need to do in order to connect with these internship programs and the students? How can they connect? If they want to start an internship program, if they're interested in doing it at their companies, at their jobs, what do they need to do? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So if you're interested in starting a student internship program and you need resources, call IHL. The Office of Business and Economic Development, we want to be a resource to you. We have resources available to us to help you do just that. I think there are really two good approaches that a business could take if they want to start a student internship program or get access to student interns. One would be the direct approach, contact a university, maybe the Career Services Center. Maybe you've got an existing relationship with a university. You could certainly do that, make that direct contact. Maybe there's a university with a specific degree program and you're looking for students in a certain area, so that makes sense that you would contact them directly. But we want to kind of help take the guesswork out of it for you and make it as easy as we possibly can And that if you don't know what to do, you don't know who to call, you don't know where to start, contact IHL and let us help you figure that out. Let us help make those connections for you on any of our 8 campuses and get you to a single point of contact who can be of assistance to you. Again, whether you're starting a program or you're trying to grow a program.
Thank you, Paul. So we're closing, but I want to give the panelists, if it's something, just closing remarks, something quick that you want to share that you didn't have the opportunity to share with questions or with the comments. Is there something you want to say before we close out and dismiss for lunch? There between you and the lunch?
What I would encourage you to do is, as you think about your internship programs, you want to start this about 2 years out if you don't have one. And you want to design your internship very strategically to make these very meaningful learning experiences for the students. I think traditionally internships, hey, let's hire somebody to run the copiers and, shred materials. And today's student, they want meaningful experiences. They want to work on projects. They want to do research for you. They want to be connected with the leaders of your organization and have a chance to work with your leaders. So start way out there and envision what that internship needs to look like, and then think about who's going to do the internship supervision. Don't just hand it down to somebody that doesn't look like they have anything else to do. They won't put the interest and energy into it. And once you have an internship and they come back to our campus, they're either your best ambassador or your worst ambassadors. And they talk to each other and peer-to-peer. So you want to have a meaningful experience. You want to have feedback for the intern while they're in your place of business. Also, you want to get feedback from them. What are we doing well? What do we need to improve on? Typically, the research shows us that you should start seeking internships at least 8 months before you plan to start one. And so those cycles would go around. And have a presence on our campus. Don't just post something and think if we post it they'll come, because you want to have a little presence. Info tables. Connect with us. We'll connect you with faculty. Try to get you classroom presence where you can talk about your opportunities in companies, because students are attracted to people they know, not so much people they don't know. And so we want to have that presence and that familiarity. And then the last thing, and again, I'm going to cite some NACE data here. I did a little research before I came in. They said that 50% of internships are filled through connections through career services offices. And, 40%, I'm sorry, and 50% through open applications, and only 9.5% through direct faculty contacts. And so I think many of the historical ways to connect with students was just to go to faculty, and that doesn't seem to be the trend anymore, particularly for internships. So be sure to post with career services and then open postings and get connected.
Thank you, Rusty.
Kathy, my only comment would be, as you all know, there's a lot of momentum at the federal level from our current president toward apprenticeship, which is one of the reasons everybody's talking about apprenticeship. Specifically, if we could find a way to offset trainee wages during their initial training period, you would see apprenticeship in the state of Mississippi skyrocket, I bet. So that specific piece of the puzzle is an important one for our state to really move apprenticeship in its truest sense to the next level, is offsetting trainee wages during that initial period of training. And Ruth would be saying amen right now if we were in a church, but she's saying it under her breath over here. So.
I wanted just to add to what Rusty said. If you don't have a program and you're looking to put one together, don't just have an internship just to have an internship. Be sure that you have really thought through it and actually have work for them to do. The worst thing you can do is give a college student a lot of free time or a lot of downtime, and they're coming in and they want to work. That's been the biggest feedback that we have gotten, is I don't want to just sit and watch someone, answer phone calls or type on the computer. I want to be part of it. And what we have found is in our really hard to fill jobs, that's where we've really been able to capitalize the most. Programming, actuary, investments, accounting. In our industry, it takes a really long time to train employees. So we very rarely do we hire someone with just a lot of experience. We usually hire these college graduates and train them. And so that, I mean, a year is kind of typical to be fully trained in a job, and that's a lot of time and a lot of money to spend on someone who might just leave. So having the internship program, it kind of gives them the look at it, and then it's kind of up to them to come back to us after they graduate to make sure it's a good match. So if you're looking to start one, I would kind of challenge you with maybe trying to start with some of those harder to fill jobs and kind of build it from there.
And I don't want to hold us up for lunch. I know how important that is, but I want to say that there are over 300,000 people in the state of Mississippi without a high school diploma. We serve about 10,000 people, or a little over 10,000 people a year in our program. But we have a huge disconnect with getting our students into our program. So we started a new initiative. It's called Skill Up Mississippi. And so if you know of anybody who doesn't have a high school diploma or needs employability skills, please refer them to any of our programs. Our community colleges provide some of the best services in the country, right here in the state of Mississippi. So make those connections. Our email address is skillup@mccb.edu, and we would love to talk with you at how we can help you sustain your workforce. Thank you.
So really quick, Kathy, before we go, I think there's one point that I would like to make. Rusty shared some statistics on the number of student interns who basically the internship results in permanent employment for that student with a particular company. It only makes sense that if we can expand student internships in Mississippi, expand the footprint, the opportunities, that's a part of a workforce development initiative in Mississippi, or should be a part of it. So I would encourage you to think along those lines. We've talked about how the student benefits, how the company can benefit, the state benefits. As you know, it keeps more of our Mississippi graduates in Mississippi working. If they've had an opportunity to test drive a company's had an opportunity to test drive them, and they realize that there's a really good relationship there to be had on a permanent basis. So I think we just need to keep in mind that there is a workforce development component to this, and really think of it in those terms.
Thank you, Paul. Can we please give our panelists a round of applause?
One of the big issues here is workforce development. Tell us about that.
Well, workforce development is probably the most important issue we face in the state right now. There's no question that it's got to be what we focus on. We really have to be thinking about how do we go about getting the right training for the right jobs, giving our citizens the skills necessary to be successful, and not just to have a job, but to have a career, to have a way of making a living that's going to provide for their family and give them opportunity to give back to the community and be productive citizens here in the state. And I think that's where it really matters the most.
The message is the importance of internships and connecting businesses and students prior to graduation.
Tell us your experience with gaining internships for your students and how that has benefited the students.
We've seen an explosion in the number of internship opportunities for all majors at the University of Southern Mississippi. And the benefits, of course, is that students get some good practical experience, they get some soft skills development, decision making, analytical problem solving, and we find that the conversion rate of internship to full-time hire is about 59%.
What areas of the business community would you like to see an increase in internships?
Well, I think some of the liberal arts areas needs a little bit of the increase, some of the museums and some of the parks and recreations. That's an area where we're trying to develop.
The message here today is that we are responding to what employers have said they need. Business and industry said we need folks with employability skills. They need the soft skills to be successful in the workplace. So we've responded with that with a course of training for all students who come through our program, as well as students that are already employed at business and industry. We have skills training for those employees, our clients, and we want to help improve the workforce of our state.
Student internships in Mississippi should really be viewed as a part of the workforce development initiative in our state. You know, many of these students upon graduation wind up working with employers that they actually student interned with. So I think it's important that we look at this as a piece of the overall workforce development initiative in Mississippi. Student internships provide a great opportunity for students to test drive companies and companies to test drive students and to really get to know each other, so there might be that connection for a student upon graduation.
We have had an internship program now for going on 10 years, and we've been able to capitalize on that by hiring at least 12 students. We hire about one a year out of our internship program, and it's been very beneficial to us.
What do the students learn in the internship program?
Well, we have some students who are very specialized. They might be a programmer or an actuary intern, and then we have another opportunity for more like business students, and they actually rotate to several different areas in our company, so they get to kind of see a bunch of different departments, and then hopefully maybe come back to us one day in one of those areas.
What's your recommendation to other businesses in Louisiana, to Mississippi?
I think the internship program is just very valuable. Ever since we've been doing this, we've had a return, had students come back and want to work for us, and it's just a great way for the student to see what you do, and then for you to kind of try out the student, and that way hopefully you can make good matches when they get ready.
This is our first year to introduce an apprenticeship program. We are actually the first credit union in the state of Mississippi to have an apprenticeship program. It is currently open to our we're starting it with our current employees, and it is a 2-year program where it's a combination of on-the-job learning, so our employees continue to work full-time, keep their earnings, and advance their career as well.
What kind of results have you seen from this?
We are seeing really positive results. We have already had, in just the short period of time we've promoted 3 individuals within the program.
The biggest benefit of being a member of MEC is you're working in an organization that looks at the broad picture about making all parts of the state better, all sectors of the state better. Because if that's the case, then your business is going to succeed too. We have a group of leaders that do not look at it from an individual standpoint. They don't say, okay, I'm in this for my business because. They're in this because they care about our state. They care about making our state better. And those businesses out there who are interested in doing that, we need your support, because that's how we're going to make things happen in this state, is by working together.
If people have questions like more information about MEC, what should they do?
It's real simple. It's only 3 letters, MEC and then .ms. MEC.ms is our website, and you can find out all you need and how to get in touch with us.